سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Ding dong. Hello?
Yes, that's right, infidels. You found us here, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, where you get the most real talk, the best reviews of all your favorite wrestling shows from AEW and WWE, Impact, and more, because we're going to break it all down with the best staff in professional wrestling at HMG. So you don't need to go anywhere else, because there's no 5 stars here. There's only $5 face slaps, infidel. Allahu Akbar! So sign up today, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, and join the Hameen Army for the most real talk in professional wrestling. YOLO!
The PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.
Hello, I'm Homeboy Shivani, and now the PWC, the Pro Wrestling Coalition, is on the air for the most exciting 2 hours of professional wrestling podcasting in the world. We're gonna put butts in seats and ears to the streets. And now, here are your hosts, Jimmy T and Christopher Ambs. Hello everyone and welcome to the PWC Extra. I am your host Jimmy T, and my co-host, he is the crazy madman from Canada. He is Mr. Chris Ambvs. Like I said, I'm not even going to do your little shtick because I don't give it justice, or I don't do it justice, so please tell them who you are, Chris.
Well, I will be happy to give and do my shtick justice here. That kind of sounds like a euphemism for masturbation, to do your stick justice. But anyway, I'll go ahead and give my shtick the justice it deserves here. I am Chris Ambvs. That's AMBS, like lambs with no L, or bullshit first thing in the morning. Don't worry, if you ever forget how to spell my last name, I'll just remind you on every show that I do. Yes, welcome everybody to the Extra. Somehow, Jimmy convinced me to sign up for even more of this shit this week. So here we are to talk about all the news, all the haps, bruh.
All the motherfucking haps. I mean, the people want it, bro. I mean, the people want it. I mean, we're booming right now. I mean, business is booming here at the PWC, Chris. So,
That's right.
I mean, hey, man, we're in the top end of the US charts. So I'm proud to announce that. And thank you to all our listeners out there that have put us on the map, because, I mean, we couldn't have done it without you guys and girls, of course. So, I mean, thank you, and a big thank you. And just keep please spreading the word, because you're doing us all a favor. And, I mean, I couldn't thank you guys enough. I mean, seriously.
Absolutely, yeah. Hey, share us out and talk about how wonderful we are. Just say, like, yeah, there's these podcasts by these guys on the PWC, and they're great. This guy, Chris, he's like a genius, and he's super handsome, and he knows how to dance well, and he's super funny. And also, there's this Bogan guy that he does the show with, and it's great.
Indeed, bro. Well, it's been a crazy, wacky week in pro wrestling, man. I mean, but I want you to start with a particular thing. We're talking about this off the air. And please tell them, who the fuck is Aubrey Edwards, bro? Who is she, man? Do you know who she is, bro?
You should know who she is, bro.
You should.
Man, all right. Okay, first of all, I just want to make sure that, like, we cannot confirm that this happened, but this is all over, like, the Twitter space right now. So apparently, this is a quote from Jake Lures, which is the lead singer of the band August Burns Red, who's a metalcore group. I am not aware of these people, but apparently they're relatively famous. Here's the full quote. Yeah, it was crazy, man. We were doing a signing, and this crazy lady comes up and gets me to sign an album for her. She then says, "You don't recognize me, do you?" And I replied to her, "Not really, should I?" In which she replied, "I'm Aubrey Edwards." I think she said her name was, and I said to her, "Who? Sorry, I don't know that name." In which she goes, "I'm a wrestling referee, maybe one of the most famous in the business. You really haven't seen me before?" And I said to her, "Sorry, I haven't watched WWE in a few years, if I'm being honest. I am a wrestling fan, but I've just been busy." And she laughed and said, "WWE? I'm not in that garbage. I'm in AEW. You really need to check it out and see for yourself what we're doing over there. It'll get you back into wrestling. I promise you that." And I laughed and said, "Have a nice day, lady." And as she was walking off, she turns around and says, "What are you laughing at?" Before the event, security eventually moved her along because there were a ton of people behind her, and she'd already taken up like 5 minutes of time. It was pretty insane, dude. End quote. I have no idea if this is real or not, but if it is, that's just, come on. Could you think of anything more Aubrey Edwards than that?
No, that's what's funny. But, I mean, if this bitch is for real, I mean, do you know who I am, Aubrey?
Do you?
Do you
know who I am?
Do you know who he is? Yeah.
Do you know who I am? Okay. I run the #1 wrestling podcast in Kenya. All right.
15 now, actually, Chris.
Kenya. Shut up. The #1 podcast for pro wrestling in all of Kenya. Okay. So everybody just recognize who I am. All right. That's right.
Put your ones up for Nairobi.
Ones up for Nairobi.
I'm just saying, because we're the ones in Kenya. Well, we still are pretty much very high up there in Kenya. I mean, Kenya can't get enough of the PWC network, Chris.
Yeah. Well, shout outs to Kenya. Of course, they have fantastic taste in Kenya. But also, yeah, apparently we're in the top 60 in the US for sports podcasts, which I'm going to toast my milk to that. Toast, brother. That's toasts all around.
I've got nothing to toast with. Oh, well, there we go.
Well,
cheers. Salute.
Salute. Yeah.
Anyway, instead of patting ourselves on the shoulder as we have been pretty much the last few shows, let's get back to the news. But Aubrey Edwards, I mean, it's got to be true, bro. I can't think of no reason why it's not. I mean, it sounds like Aubrey. It smells like Aubrey. Heck, it even reads like Aubrey. So, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. I hope it's true anyway. Now, we're not saying it is true, but we hope it is, because if it is, this woman is just the biggest marktard for herself, clearly.
She's just a crazy, crazy person who loves herself very much.
Oof, crazy ain't the friggin' word. I mean, seriously. I mean, what else is there to say about this chick? I mean, she's just a marktard. That is.
She is. I mean, we've been saying for like quite a while at this point how, like, okay, this chick is like nuts, right? Like, there's something wrong with her, because every time we hear that she's said something or whatever. It's like, it's levels of insanity where you're like, is that real? And it's like, yeah, no, it's real. Somehow she really thinks that, or said that, or did that.
Ay. Well, let's move on from that bitch because that's enough of talking about her. Let's be honest. I mean, I don't even want to keep going about her. Just you better recognize or not on who she is. But anyway, next let's talk about Edge. Actually, Chris, there's rumors flying around that this upcoming match with Sheamus could possibly be his last, and apparently his contract is running out. Now, there's all sorts of memes online about Edge being all elite and all this shit, right? And whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know how true this shit is. He did say in the past that Toronto would be his last match, so I assume everyone's jumping on that bandwagon. I don't know if this is the date or not, but this is what Edge had to say because Edge told ET Canada that his match with Sheamus on SmackDown tomorrow is his last on his current WWE deal. Well, there you go. This is the last match on my current contract, so I don't know. Edge replied, when asked if this would be his retirement match, I honestly don't know, he says. I probably won't know until I get to the locker room that night and decompress. Let all the anxiety and tension that I never used to have before I performed that I have now. That's strange for me, and it makes it that much harder to do this. I'm going to be 50 in October. It's not easy anymore. Before, what I used to take for granted to be able to do, now there is a process and a fallout, and there's a lot. It's the dream gig, but I'm not going to lie, it's getting really hard. Does this sound like it's the end for Edge? I mean, it sucks if it is.
If this really is like the last match for Edge, like that's extremely lame. Like there's been no build to it. There's no reason for this to be the last match for him. I don't know. Like even if the plan is just for him to like sign a contract with AEW for, a couple months or whatever, so that they can finally do like the Edge and Christian versus the Hardys as like a retirement match.
Cool.
Yeah, that's fine. But still, like if Edge really is going away here, if he's really leaving the WWE for a while, you'd think that they would do a better job of milking it. To me, it doesn't seem like they're going to just have Edge just disappear. Like, why wouldn't you milk it?
Yeah, it's true, but I mean, is it very Edge-like to just go under the radar, though? You know what I mean, and just fade away into the sunset.
That's true. You know what I think he should do? I think he should come back after the match, but in like a he should come back in like a body cast or whatever, and he should like scream at Adam Pearce that he wants what he wants and give me what I want, give me what I want, and then he doesn't, and then he retires that way. That'd be great.
Oh man. Well, I hope it's not the end. I mean, could we possibly see Edge in AEW or nah?
I think there's probably a pretty strong appetite for Edge, Christian, Matt, and Jeff to have at least one last match between the four of them. I think that there is a pretty strong appetite from those guys. And I think the most likely place for that to happen is AEW, just because of the contract situations of Matt, Jeff, and Christian. I know that Christian has said that his contract is coming up relatively soon with AEW. But if Edge really is done with WWE, then that would be, the most likely landing spot for them. I would personally rather see them do something in WWE, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, look, we'll see what happens. I'm intrigued because I don't know if he's got a no-compete clause in his contract or not, but I mean, is there a slight chance we could see him in All In? Possibly.
I don't think so. I mean,
You never know. I mean, you never know.
I don't think that what Edge wants to do would translate. Like, I think if what I think that he wants to do, which is, like I said, I think he wants to have at least one more match with him and Christian versus the Hardys.
Right.
Is All In really the place to bring him back? And if you're running AEW and Edge says he's coming in and he wants to do a run with your company, I think it's a huge downgrade if he's in a tag team, because Edge is a main event star. Like it or not, even at 49, he's a star. He's a main event guy. I think if you're bringing in Edge, you want him to go for your world title. You want him to have a program against Kenny Omega. You want him to have a program against MJF. You want him to have a program against CM Punk, maybe, right? I don't think you bring him in for that at All In, because I think it comes across as like, wow, like we just got a huge main eventer and we're going to have him do a retirement match with the Hardys. Don't pay too close attention to the fact he's here. So
right.
I honestly, I don't expect to see him at All In. I think that would be a really, really strange confluence of events. It would be one of those situations where, like, if it happens, I will really be shocked. I will actually be shocked at professional wrestling.
Interesting. Well, Chris Millen says in the chat, RoboCop versus Leatherface with the Yeti as special enforcer, Booker Pal. Yeah, that's Chris's dream match right there.
Yeah.
Was it my dream match?
That must be your dream match, because my dream match is RoboCop versus Leatherface versus Crocodile Dundee in a Bloomin' Onion Championship triple threat match.
No. Hell no. And also he goes on to ask, and I'm talking about Mr. Wheeland, what do you see happening, if anything, with the WWE tag team titles? What would you do to book a way out of the current situation? Well, first of all, what's the prognosis with Kevin Owens? I'm hearing he just wanted a break. He's not really injured. Now, he had an interview, actually, on Ariel Helwani's podcast. I don't know if you caught that at all, Chris. Dude, you should check it out, because he comes across as he's done. He's over wrestling. He's not happy. He's over it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, that's what happens. I think that Kevin Owens, he has a tendency sometimes to give shoot interviews still kind of in kayfabe. Like,
I'm telling you, bro, this is different, man. You got to check it out, man. You know what? We'll see. Maybe I'll do a little thing on the PWC network, but yeah, you have to check it out, dude. You'll understand what I mean. This is way out of character for me.
I'll check it out. I love Kevin Owens, and I hope he's not done with pro wrestling. But, I mean, could you really blame him and Sammy for being annoyed? I know I saw recently like a thing where I guess him and Sammy are both like kind of frustrated at how the tag team titles have been booked since WrestleMania. And do you blame them? Because they had what was like pretty clearly the second most, or maybe no, it was pretty clearly the second most important match on the whole event, right?
Well, that was the main event, night one. Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
So they're pretty clearly the second most important match from WrestleMania, right? They have gotten huge reactions everywhere that they've gone, right? And tell me what feud they've had since they beat the Usos.
Nothing significant, really. I mean, they're just fucking around, if anything. They're just interjecting wherever they want, like, pretty much. I mean,
yeah, so
yeah, it's not compelling.
Like, if I was Sammy and Kevin, I'd be saying, hey, guys, like, you're kind of wasting us here. You hear the crowd? You hear the crowd when our fucking music hits? Can we do something, please? Like, I don't blame them for being frustrated. And also, you know, little hints getting dropped here and there. What's his name there? Magic Man there in the 2.0. What the fuck is his name?
I know who you're talking about. Fucking Ed, fucking
Daddy Magic.
Spot Entertainers, Daddy Magic, bro.
All right, Daddy Magic.
My nipples
anyway.
are getting hard.
Okay, so Mr. Hard Nipples.
Yes.
So
he's Canadian, mind you.
He's French Canadian. We don't claim him. Yeah, I kid. I am joking,
I know.
Québécois. Well, I love you guys.
Au revoir. Well, actually,
au
that's good
revoir.
night. That's good night, isn't it?
It's something like that. I don't know. I don't speak
Right.
French. I speak Spanish.
Whatever.
But
I don't
you
speak
know,
Japan.
when he was cutting his promo last week about how he was leaving the Jericho Appreciation Society, he said, "Now I know why some of the guys I came up with, like, I can't remember who he said, but the second person he named was, and Kevin Steen can't stand you." So maybe little hints getting dropped here and there.
As long as we get the Kings of Pro Wrestling back once again, which is the Bucks and Kevin Owens and Adam Cole, baby, where we get to see Kevin Steen right back in his Young Bucks fucking clothing, bro, tight and all. That is something else, bro. Hey, just remember, he's part of that Rosita crew deep down. Like, he's one of the OGs, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just saying.
But I honestly kind of feel like if he went to AEW, he would bring out the best in those guys, like more than they would bring out his indie-rific nonsense.
I'm not going to lie. I found it quite funny, actually, when he was with the Bucks and Adam Cole, especially when he was dressed as the Bucks. It was
right,
just
because it was a contrast, right? Because he's
Right.
usually much more serious than that. So when he was with
Oh
them,
no,
it
he's
was
playing
like,
serious, but he's just dressed up in like super short, like super like tight clothing that doesn't fit him.
I don't
It
want to
looks funny,
imagine
bro.
what that looks like, Jimmy. I don't want to think
It's
about
brilliant, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I love it. But back to Chris's question: what do you do with the tag titles? You ask. What did they do with every other belt? They just made a shiny gold version and said, "Here you go," and that's that. I mean, that's the way you do it. I mean, how do you separate them at this point? Either they lose one of these belts. Are they Raw or SmackDown, guys? I don't even know at this point. They're never on SmackDown, even though they're
Yeah.
tag champs of both brands.
I'm pretty sure they're on the Raw brand.
Right.
And again, I think that the way you get out of it, if you want to get out of it, like, you have a ladder match with all four belts hanging above the ring against somebody
not?
who's from SmackDown. The SmackDown team grabs the SmackDown belts at the exact same time that Sammy grabs the Raw belts, and then you've dropped one set of titles and not the other set of titles. It's not something that you can do all the time, and it's not something that's perfect, but this is why you either have a very strict separation between Raw and SmackDown, or you have to figure out how to book, something interesting for when you're getting the belts away from whoever is the unified champion, because otherwise the brand suffers, right? So,
Right.
yeah.
It's true. Yep, it's true. Elizabeth is in the house saying, I can't see him signing with AEW for something long term. He's going to be 50 in a few months. I'm assuming she's talking about Edge. That's true, but you never know.
Adam Sex Castle.
Yeah, it'll be Adam's Sex Castle or some shit. Wasn't it Sexton Hardcastle his original name?
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, he's going to change it a little bit.
That's all right. Maybe we'll get Juicy Usi, if you know what I mean. In Jey Uso popping up in AEW as well. Chris also says the dual titles is kind of overdoing things. It's confusing. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's confusing, but it's definitely overdoing things.
It's fucking annoying, dude. Even like when I'm playing 2K or whatever, I have my brands separated, and I keep like a pretty strict separation on the brands, but I always have one tag titles, and just everybody in the tag teams is on both shows, so that there's just one set of tag titles. Because otherwise, it's like, what are you the tag team champion of? You're the tag team champion of a specific show. It's really fucking weird.
Well, you know what I do, actually? I've been playing that game pretty hard, bro. Did you download the latest DLC, actually?
Yeah. The Wade Barrett one, yeah.
The Barrett, I'm afraid I got some bad news.
Why didn't they go with the bad news gimmick?
I know.
It's so much better
They've got the fucking clean shaven Barrett.
Yeah, it's lame.
Yeah, pretty silly, weird, but it is what it is. More wrestlers, the better, I guess. But you know what I do? I don't even have a hard brand split in the WWE side of things. I've got a hard brand split with AEW and WCW.
Oh, that's no. I have Raw, SmackDown. I have like all of. When I do like my universe, I'm always at like 97 downloads of, you know how you have like 100 spaces for creations?
Right, yeah.
I'm always at like 97 and just like barely on the edge so that I don't.
Dude, I'm always like filling up my spaces, dude, and just to get someone else, I have to delete certain shit. And, it becomes real tedious.
It is tedious, but so I have like a Raw, Nitro, Dynamite, NXT, SmackDown. Like I have like a full universe going all the time.
Me too.
So.
I've got Collision on there too. I took out Rampage and put Collision as the not the brand, like a separate brand, just an extra show for AEW. So I've got AEW, NXT, WWE as one, and WCW. But yeah, I mean, anyway, I love the game, man.
I do too.
I don't know. I fucking love it. But Media M5 says him signing a deal at 50 long-term super limited dates would be worth it as long as he don't have to wrestle twice a week. I doubt that. I mean, unless he wants to. And Elizabeth says they just need to make it one set of unified tag titles and defend them everywhere because there aren't many real teams anyway, which is also true, Chris.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know why
their teams.
I don't know why they don't just do that because, well, I guess I understand like for the tag teams it would be kind of fucking annoying because you got to go from Monday and then you got to fucking get to wherever they're going on Friday, and sometimes SmackDown and Raw are in like opposite directions around the country or whatever, right? So if you have to go to all shows, you're traveling back and forth constantly. I get how that would be pretty frustrating, but I don't know exactly like what the travel schedule is for the WWE right now, but if you did do that, maybe you could cut a deal where you're doing less non-televised dates. But then do the non-televised shows get fucked out of tag teams? So it's a real weird line to draw. So to me, like the answer has always been, will always be, separate the brands. But don't just call it Raw and SmackDown. Call it WWE and WCW. And
I'll love that, but they will never do that, man.
I know they won't.
That.
I know they won't. But that would make the most sense because it's pretty simple. Like then you're the tag team champions of the WCW, or you're the world champion of the WCW, instead of the SmackDown champion, which just sounds really lame. Like the first thing I do when I start a universe is I delete the Raw Women's Championship and the SmackDown Women's Championship, and I just have a Women's World Title and a Women's Intercontinental Championship. Because like I don't understand how you can have two world champions in the same company.
Dude, I would just do a hard reset at this point and just start fresh and just have one set of fucking belts for both brands. I mean, Chris, the travel schedule is they go from one town to another to wrestle. Duh.
Thank you, Media M5. You're bringing the A+, information to the show. Thanks.
Media M5. Well, Liz says on the flip side, the tag teams don't have to be on each show each week. If Roman can show up when he wants, they could make it work. We need something, right? I mean,
yeah. Something needs to be done. Something needs to be done, but I honestly maintain that the absolute best thing that they could do is really separate from one another. And if they don't want to celebrate WCW, just make up your own company. I mean or just like expand NXT, have it overtake SmackDown or Raw, and then you have NXT, WWE, you have two different companies, go.
I guess. I mean, and this brings up another interesting point, especially if the deal with Fox is coming up, then you can truly look at the brand split then. But then what was the point of the brand split now? I don't know. WWE can be confusing. It is what it is. But let's move on, though, Chris. I mean, we've pretty much spoken about the tag title situation at length. But next, let's go to AEW news, because apparently Warner Brothers Discovery is reportedly pleased with AEW's Texas Chainsaw Massacre cross-promotional match, Chris. Mm-hmm. What the fuck?
What the fuck do they know about wrestling? They don't. What they know is, okay, we are in charge of this video game that we're trying to set up, right? We want to get as many people, to see it as possible. So we could do, commercials or whatever on whatever's like a horror adjacent show on our affiliates or whatever. We could pay a shit ton of money to get them on there. We could pay all kinds of money and royalties and commercials and all that other stuff. Or we could go to Tony Khan and we could say, Tony, you know how we said that we're gonna do like cross promotional stuff with AEW because you're technically part of the because you're technically part of the WB house or whatever. You're going to also do this thing with the Texas Chainsaw. We want you to have fun with it, but we want the Texas Chainsaw Massacre to be a big part of your show one week. Go do it. And then they went and did it. So WB's happy doesn't mean it's good. Like,
I agree 100%. Facts. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing really to say other than if that's the case, yuck. That's all I'm saying. I don't even want to continue on with that. If they're happy, good on them, man. It is what it is. I mean, shit. Dynamite did rank number 1 in their slot for ratings, so hats off to them. Under a million.
What else was on? Yeah, I don't care.
Whatever it is. Well, next we go to Dave Meltzer, Uncle Dave Meltzer, right? I mean, shit. He apparently assesses the future of AEW's roster at odds with CM Punk, and this is what he had to say. Meltzer speculated that the change of day was probably due to there being no Saturday taping next week. However, these tapings were particularly interesting as they involved wrestlers who have alleged backstage issues with CM Punk, Chris. Performers who might be removed from Ring of Honor brand moving forward also, apparently. As documented by Meltzer, the Ring of Honor taping saw Ryan Nemeth, Christopher Daniels, Colt Cabana, Brandon Cutler all make an appearance. With that said, though, Meltzer doesn't envision these performers attending future Ring of Honor tapings unless they're recorded on a Wednesday or another day of the week that isn't Saturday. The Ring of Honor tapings are usually filmed before and after AEW Collision, which is Punk's main show. That said, Nemeth, Daniels, Cabana, and Cutler reportedly can't work Saturdays as the Second City Saint doesn't want them around when he's there.
Sorry, what was that list of wrestlers again? Give me the names again.
All right, wait. Forget, they're all jobbers, right? Forget that. But there's one important name here. I don't know if you figured this one out, which doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Who do you think that is?
The
Fallen Angel. The Fallen Angel.
Christopher Daniels.
Yes, he is the head of talent relations in AEW.
Okay.
So how do you tell a guy in power, in a position of power, to fuck off?
I mean, people in positions of power get fired all the time. They get sent to different parts of the company. They get told they are or are not allowed to do certain things all the time. That's how companies run. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you can read that fucking list again.
Okay.
Seriously, read the list again. Yeah, tell me who all is not allowed to go now.
So Ryan Nemeth, Christopher Daniels, Colt Cabana, and Brandon Cutler.
Na 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 na. Hey. Goodbye.
Ciao.
Guys, who are they? I don't need those fucking guys. By the way, I listened back to our fucking skirmish, and I called Ryan Nemeth. I did it again. I called Ryan Nemeth Nick Nemeth like 16 times in that show. So I am sorry, Dolph. I realized that that's not you, but But yeah, okay. I'm sorry to the listeners too, because
I
listened
didn't
back and I was
realize.
cringing the whole time. I was like,
But I knew exactly who you were talking about the whole time, so it didn't like it just didn't like fester to me that you were saying that. But now that you said it, no big deal, bro. Everyone knew what you were talking about. Shit, I didn't even correct you, bro. You know me, I would have usually pointed that out. For some reason,
but really, like, okay, the three fucking names that you named, like, I don't give a shit if I never see them wrestle again. Oh no,
I agree.
Brandon Cutler has to stay home. Oh, I'm really heartbroken about that. Ryan Nemeth doesn't get to be on TV anymore. What will I do with all of my Ryan Nemeth action figure? Like, get the fuck out of here. Fuck those guys.
I agree, but the only one is Christopher Daniels, man, because, like I said, head of talent relations, I would be like, no, you know what, Punk? You get fucked. Plain and simple, but yeah, I guess not.
Yeah, okay. But then the thing is I actually think that if push came to shove, I think that the company would choose CM Punk over Christopher Daniels, don't you?
I agree, yeah.
So maybe don't do that. But anyway, Christopher Daniels, no hair, don't care.
No hair, don't care, exactly. I mean, shit, it is what it is. Next, let's go to Tammy Sitch pleading a no contest to DUI causing death charge, could face 25-year sentence. I mean, at this point, Chris, is a good riddance to her. Is she done? Is she going to get more than 20 years in the cell?
I don't know. I doubt it. I mean, most women don't get long sentences, even if they plead guilty, like even if they plead out to things like this, they don't usually get long sentences for like single homicides. Like if this was like a mass murder, if she went in and blew up a store or something, maybe. But
she's fucked up more than once, though, dude.
She's gonna get sentenced to probably 10 years. She's gonna serve 6. Maybe she'll die in prison from. I mean, judging by the picture, she might die from diabetes in fucking prison. She's looking extra heavy.
Bloated. It's true. Yeah, well, for me, good riddance, man. She's fucked up one too many times, and there's no fucking room for bullshit like her, man. I mean, I personally think she's not over Chris Candido, and this all stems back to that. But then again, she was cheating on him left and right.
She's just a shitty person, bro. Like, there are just shitty people. I was explaining this to you the other day. Like, after we went off the air, I was explaining to you that there's a difference between being nice and being good, right? Tammy Sitch is neither of those things. She is not a nice person, and she is not a good person. She is a bad, mean human being, and I'm all for her going to jail for a bit.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Harvey says in the chat that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre isn't even Warner Brothers Discovery's property. Well, there you go. It's true.
Yeah, well, they have a contract with the game developer for programming on WB like assets or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah,
whatever assets exactly. I guess Chris, you need to tell me that he can manifest things. That's it.
Yeah, homeboy met a rapper that he really likes today.
He did? Did he suck his dick?
No. Homeboy is not Greek. What's the matter with you?
Well, he's Mexican. He sucks dick, bro.
No, come on. Come on.
Orale, homeboy, hombre. I'm fucking with you, man. And who'd you meet, bro? I've already met my rap lord, bro. You can't beat that. My favorite rapper of all time is DJ Quick, man. That's, he's my dude. I got to meet him down here for free. I didn't even have to line up or nothing.
Cool. Well, hopefully one day I can meet Nas, and then we can make this a trifecta of people who have met their MC gods. But yeah.
Who did he meet, by the way? I actually want to know.
It's Mexican OT or something. I don't know.
What?
I don't know.
Really, homeboy? That's your G? That's your guy? Whatever. Whatever hits your G spot, my bro. So that was it. Apparently that was the name. I've never heard of him personally, bro. I mean, have you?
I never have. No.
That Mexican OT, what does that even stand for? That Mexican over try hard or over trying? I mean, I really don't know who he is, bro. I need to know. Like, I know a lot of Mexican rappers. I know fucking a lot of rappers. I don't have a clue who the Mexican OT is.
I'm going to piss off a bunch of people from LA right now. I fucking hate reggaeton. I hate everything about that genre.
Reggaeton, that's not an LA thing, bro. That's more of a New York fucking thing.
Whatever. I hate, like, I really
Hey,
do
Miami, like, South
I
Beach.
really aggressively do not like that shit in my hip-hop. It's not fun.
Reggaeton. Oh, so he's new, homeboys, but he's your fucking rap Jesus? That makes more sense. Well, shoot me some tracks. If you want a good fucking Mexican rapper, bro, that's the shit. Either look up Peso Peso, he's the shit, and fucking Ramirez, another one who's the shit. Just saying, look them two up. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Anyway, enough of that. Let's move on because this one gets even better because apparently Tony Storm on AEW star Ricky Starks, I'd mess him up if I had the chance for whatever reason. I don't understand why. Maybe there's some sexual tension going on there, but who cares? I'm not even going to get into that. More Hogan's shamming for whatever reason. Because Medusa is in the headlines by saying why Medusa Alundra Blaze slams one of the wrestling's biggest names. I mean, like she can talk. Seriously. Like, can she really talk?
Medusa?
I mean, Medusa, bro. Like, seriously. What did she say? I don't see how she really... I'm not even going to get into that, man, but... How Jesse Ventura tried to create a wrestling union, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Apparently Hogan's a snitch, bro, basically, who turned in Jesse the Body Ventura on a wrestling union. That's where all that hate stems from between the two of them.
What? Hulk Hogan is a bad person?
Bad person. That don't work for me, brother.
That don't work for me, brother. You know, if my daughter's going to date a... Not going there. Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Was that really racist, though, when you think about it, man? Not every black person thinks... A lot of black people understood where he was coming from, dude.
The truth is, what he said was racist. Like,
what he said was racist, but I don't think he meant it in a racial context, though, per se.
Do I think Hulk Hogan is, like, deep down an actual racist person? I doubt it. He doesn't come across... Like, for all the fucking sins of Hulk Hogan, and I mean... It would take the power of 2 or 3 popes to wipe clean all of the sins of Hulk Hogan. I actually don't think that he is a racist person. I'm honestly happy that he was canceled. I hate canceling. I don't like it. I wish it never happened. I fucking hate Hulk Hogan. I don't ever need to see Hulk Hogan ever again.
You were never a fucking Hulkamaniac growing up, dude.
Even when I was a kid, I hated Hulk Hogan. I was...
you're bullshitting.
No, dude, when I was like a little kid, like 3, 4 years old, and I started watching wrestling, I was all about the Ultimate Warrior, man. All about the Warrior.
Oh, me too, man. I was a little warrior, but I'm not going to lie. I mean, Hulk Hogan was the reason why I got into pro wrestling in the first place, man. I mean, I used to eat it up, man. And then the Warrior came along, and then the Warrior was the thing for me too.
I never liked Hulk Hogan. Right from the start. Didn't like him.
Wow. No shit, bro.
No
That's
shit.
so sad.
I have never liked Hulk Hogan.
Oh shit, apparently Hogan wants to call in. Chris, what do you think? Should we let the Hulkster in, brother?
We can do it, sure. If Hogan wants to
call
Alright,
let's fucking do it.
Invite.
Homeboy, go and get your connections. Get Hogan in the building. Because I want to ask him some questions, as a matter of fact. I'm actually keen. Because, you know, especially Bash at the Beach 2000, Chris.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, like, Hulk Hogan was certainly a part of some memorable moments in pro wrestling, don't get me wrong, you know, but as far as, was I ever a fan of Hulk Hogan? Not
absolutely.
even a little bit.
Yo, Chris.
Yo,
Chris.
Jimmy.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello? Wait, you can't hear me?
Jimmy,
God
can you hear
damn
me?
it. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, fuck, I'm delayed by like 30 seconds.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. Good then.
But it seems delayed, though. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, Medium Fi says
Yo,
both
yo,
our
yo.
streams froze. I'm gonna leave. I'll come right back.
Shit, that's odd. All right. Hey, everybody in the chat, can you guys hear me? By the way, am I delayed whatsoever or nah? Someone tell me. Well, you're obviously hearing me, right? Medium 5? I got to know, bro. All right, let's see. Okay, but is there a delay? Okay, thank you. That's all I need to know. All right, Chris.
Yo,
There we go. No more delay between you and I?
no more delay, brother.
All right, brother. Well, as we wait for the cuckster to arrive, I wanted to mention one more thing because I think the whole thing would be the best way to end the show. But about Lacey Evans, Chris, about speculation as to the reason behind Lacey Evans' WWE departure. Lacey Evans is officially gone from WWE after her contract reportedly expired after August 15. During the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer weighed in with what possibly led to her departure. He goes on to say, I remember when she was in NXT and she was brought to the main roster. She had the giant push at first, as Meltzer recalled. She got the big push at first, then she would get the weekly vignettes and not a push at all. It was the craziest thing ever, according to him. But a lot of her lack of exposure had to do with Vince being gone because Vince was her like fan, apparently. Ever since Vince McMahon stepped back from being the head of creative in July 2022, Evans' television time has decreased. At the beginning of the year, Evans was repackaged with a military gimmick similar to that of Sergeant Slaughter, but it only resulted in her picking up a couple of squash wins. Evans lost her last 3 televised matches this year, with her final one airing on WWE SmackDown in June. And that's that. Apparently there was a lot of nothing. Apparently Vince was the reason maybe she just started going down.
Dave Meltzer is a fucking clown. I cannot stand that fucking guy. He's an idiot. He just said it was the craziest thing ever about Lacey Evans. Shut the fuck up, Dave. Shut the fuck up. As far as like the start stop push, that's absolutely what happened to Lacey Evans. Like she started and then she stopped. And then the thing is that I think WWE is for some reason they don't seem to get that like a lot of the old school face gimmicks are now heel gimmicks. They're now heelish gimmicks because people are tired of that shit.
Yep.
And a lot of the
anti-hero
old heel
shit,
gimmicks, and a lot of the old heel gimmicks are now more like face gimmicks, right? So if you're 100%. If you're a foreigner who's super proud of where you come from and everything, and you come out waving your own flag, people are going to cheer for you, right? Because people like that kind of shit. Inclusion is more of like a positive thing for crowds now, right? And if you come out and you do the whole, I'm American, y'all, and I'm super happy to be American and America first, like
Team America, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that's not a face gimmick anymore. So there was some confusion. There was some weird confusion with her in NXT with the whole Southern Belle thing, which I actually think could have gotten over really well in the
She was much better as the Southern Belle. They should have never changed her.
But there was that start-stop thing where it was like, okay, we're going to do... And then they would just stop, and then suddenly she's gone. And then they started her back up with a new gimmick, and suddenly she's gone again. And then she started back up with the latest one where she's basically Sergeant Slaughter, and then she's gone again. And it's like, you can't really blame a talent when the company isn't consistent enough to even really claim they tried. Okay,
Right, no, I agree.
That's not the talent's fault.
To be fair, also, they did want to, like, show off her history, though, and I think that's what they were sort of pondering, if they should sort of lean in towards her military background, or, you know, a completely different gimmick whatsoever. But I guess, you know, they were confused. Anyway, we've got a special guest in his house. I swear, I gotta love this guy private messaging us saying, "Hey fucker, can't you tell we were busy talking?" Jesus Christ. We know you're there, bro. We know you're there, brother. But guess who's here? It's Terry Bollea, the Hulkster.
That's right, brother. And right now, I'm walking down the fucking aisle, strumming that guitar, brother. NWO, because I'm just too sweet. And you know what, Christopher Ambs? You might not like me, brother, but you got to put me at the motherfucking first hand of the Mount Rushmore, brother. Fuck Bret the Hitman Hart. Fuck Owen Hart, brother. It's Hulk Hogan. It's fucking Andre the Giant, brother. It's two other motherfuckers, Bruno Sammartino, but not that motherfucker, Vanilla Midget from Canada, Bret the Hitman Hart, brother. I don't give a fuck what you say. And you want to say that I didn't know how to wrestle, brother, but what about Japan, brother?
Yeah, what about Japan, Hulk?
Well, I don't know, Hulk. Were you big in Japan?
I was big in Japan, brother. I had the fucking white trunks. I had the black trunks. But more than that, I used to fucking wrestle. I used to do 20 holes, brother. I used to do suplexes, standing armbar, brother. The test of strength, dude.
Wow,
it's amazing. You know, I've seen video of you in Japan, Hulk, and I gotta say, you took more bumps in like each Japanese match you were in than you took in your entire career in America. So, hey, good for you for working hard when you were somewhere else.
That's right, brother. Because you know what? Those little Japanese motherfuckers, they have respect for professional wrestling, brother. But when I went to the States for Vinnie Mac, brother, I told them, well, doesn't work for me, brother. I'm only going to do like 3 moves, dude. All right? Yeah.
Well, dude, you know what, Terry or Hulk? I didn't know that your very first marriage to your first blonde wife that eerily looks alike with all your other wives, whatever, I digress, was televised live in Japan. Did you know that? Did you even know that, Hulkster?
Of course I did. I was right there, motherfucker. What do you think? I'm a clone of Hulk Hogan, brother.
Itchy bum. Or was it itchy bum?
Well, I don't know. Do you have an itchy bum, brother? Let your ass fucking, you have to scratch your ass, brother. Itchy bum you, brother. And you know what, Christopher Ambs? I don't fucking appreciate it, dude. You're talking shit about the largest arms in the world, dude. Right, brother. 20-point pythons, brother.
I've heard rumors that your pythons were only actually 18 inches, but you artificially, you know, it was like Goldberg's streak. It wasn't really as big as they said as it was, you know.
Well, no comment, bro.
Well, Media M5 says, Hulk, that Hogan took more bumps in Japan than 1980 Coke whores. Woohoo!
That's right, brother. Thank you, Hitman, dude. I gotta tell you, brother, I love the fucking PWC, brother. The Pro Wrestling Coalition. #1 fucking numero uno wrestling podcast. Fuck all the other ones, brother.
We're the ones in Nairobi.
You know what, brother? Since Scott Hall's dead, we could do the NWO right here, brother. Kevin Nash is off his fucking rocker, brother. He sounds
too
retarded
sweet me,
right
baby.
Now.
Too sweet me.
That's
too sweet
right,
me. Oh.
just
Boom.
Too sweet.
Sweet. Tell us about that fine iced tea, Hulk.
Oh, what am I, a clown to you, brother? Am I your fucking puppet, brother? Okay. I'm not gonna, hey.
Come on, Hulk.
Brother.
Come on, brother.
Listen, brother, go to your fucking local supermarket and go to the fucking refrigerator aisle and get the Hulk Hogan sweet iced tea, because you know why?
Because it's just
too sweet. You have to pay me now, brother. What the fuck?
Oh, no. You got to talk about those hot dogs, my friend. Come on, bro. I know it's not July 4th anytime soon, but come July 4th, what can the people expect from the Hulkster, brother?
That doesn't work for me, brother. And coming
Well,
up, brother, Hulkamania is gonna be on the Homeboy 88 experience, dude. He's
He
gonna
is?
do a fucking one-on-one. That's right, brother. He's gonna do a one-on-one interview with Terry Bollea himself, brother. That's me. brother.
Oh,
Wow.
that'll be
Well,
interesting.
Hey, that's cool. Hey, Hulk, I don't know if you knew this, and just going to warn you, but Homeboy 88 has brown skin. Just so you know, just so you're aware, it's not like scary when you show up.
Actually, that doesn't work for me. Thanks for telling me, brother. I'm not doing that shit anymore. Fuck that
What?
shit. I thought he was like blonde hair, blue eyes, brother. You know what you
Well-
gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you, brother? I gotta go.
Wait, but what's Hulk gonna do when he finds out that he's half Italian, half Panamanian? Haha, that's a true story. So he's half Latino.
Well, that's right, brother.
Yeah.
You know what?
All right.
He's back on, brother. Fuck it.
Screw you, Hulk. Get out
All
of
right,
here,
Hulk.
you rascal.
Hulk, we love you. PWC for life.
For
You
life.
know what? This motherfucker
Brother.
thinks he's Mike D from the Beastie Boys, brother. Wearing the Feel a fucking shirt, brother. What you gonna do when the PWC runs wild on you? Terrible is out, brother.
Brother. Ladies, Hulk. Hulk Hogan, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Yeah, with that iced tea, but no red, white, and blue hot dogs, unfortunately, Chris. That kind
Yeah.
of sucks.
Well, since America's becoming more like racially diverse, Hulk Hogan's trying to separate himself from his former position of being the American hero. You know.
Oh, man. And I just want to give a shout outs to Aaron Ben Shlomo before we go, because he loved the fact that me and you got pissed off on the skirmish. He loved it the week before that you were angry, then he loved it that I was angry, and he wants to see more angry from you and I. Well, all it takes is to watch AEW, and we're there. Believe me. That's how easy it is. But you know what, Chris, man? I almost feel bad. We do have a few listeners, but I think it's time to hit it home, bro. I mean, there's no other significant news unless anybody in the chat wants to point out anything other than that.
No,
I think it's a wrap, my friend. So in saying that, dude, tell them where they can find you.
Well, you can find me right here on the PWC network. The usual show that I'm on, the one that is it's just my baby for the PWC. It's the thing that I'm passionate about here on the PWC. It is the Wednesday night skirmish. It is the flagship of the PWC, and I'm super proud of it. And the fact that people like it, people that I listened to before I started the podcast like my show. That's fucking cool. Also, you can find me over on the Hami Media Group and channelattitude.com. You can find me on a number of shows over there. I guest on a few different things, including the Smack Attack with John Enright. That's a lot of fun. We do that Saturday mornings at 10 and Sunday mornings at 10. The most important show to me, the most important show to you.
Hey, you're missing Fridays. Friday,
Okay.
Uncaged.
Fridays Uncaged. Fridays we do Uncaged. It is a lot of fun too. But the most important show, I don't care. The most important show in the world, the most important show that you'll ever listen to. Never mind Joe Rogan. Never mind Jordan Peterson. Never mind the Young Turks. If you're listening to anything, you listen Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, where after the collision, we sift through the wreckage.
Sorry,
All
I was
right.
just reading something. So I was reading a comment. Yes, we do sift through the wreckage, and I was just a little delayed there after. See what you do, Media M5? You distract me, motherfucker. I'll get back to you on that. But yeah, what do we do once again? Let's just reel it back for a minute. After the collision, we sift through the wreckage. That's right. So make sure you tune in for that. Did you tell them where to follow you, actually, Chris?
You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Chris Ambvs 1. You can also find me on you can also find me on Facebook. Just go ahead and try to add me. You can see what I look like right here. This is what I look like. You can find someone who looks like this under Chris Ambvs on Facebook. But if you're holding a wrestling belt, that you haven't actually won in the ring, in your profile picture, I'm not adding you. I don't care. It's just not happening.
Jeffy's worse than Ambien. I mean, I love you, Medium 5. Keep it coming with the Jeff jokes. I mean, more Jeff jokes all the time, bro. I mean, anyway. But yeah, like Chris said, check out, like he said, the Smack Attack on Saturday morning. But first, we come with Uncaged on channelattitude.com, where we break down Rampage. Now, I'll be there. Chris, are you going to join me and Jeff for Uncaged? I'm sure you will. And then Saturday mornings for the Smack Attack. And then Sunday morning, as I said before, after the collision, we sift through the wreckage. And that's all right there on channelattitude.com, where for $5 you get the best talk in all of pro wrestling. And I truly mean that. Also, like and subscribe at HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com, where you can find all our affiliate shows, including Jeff's Garden of Doom, and also, most importantly, because we're here right now, it is the PWCNetwork.podbean.com, where you can find all the rest of our shows and the other shows on delay here at the PWC Network. But in saying that, Chris, I think it's a wrap. Oh, and thank you to everyone in the chat before we do actually go. I just want to thank everyone that joined us, and that includes Homeboy88, Elizabeth, Javi, Medium 5, of course. Keep it coming with the Jeff jokes, by the way. And Chris Winland, and also the Professor Chabelo Veracruz. It's thanks to y'all that we're right up there. Not just number one in Nairobi, Kenya, but we're right up there in the US of A as well. So thank you to everyone that supports us, and please keep supporting us. But it means the world to us, man. Heck, even give us a review, good or bad. It helps us either way. So in saying that, I am Jimmy T, that is Chris Ambvs, and you've been listening and watching the PWC Extra right here on the PWC Network, and we're out. See ya. Peace.
Motion picture nigga, no teaser. Your girl foul and pitch fever. Took her back you believe that. Now I got the life I wanted. Hoping I don't fuck it up and make mistakes, I'm just a human. In advance, please God forgive me. 100,000 to my bitch, I bet she could afford me. Living color bosses, welcome to Cali. New money, nigga, go get your money, go be somebody. Just make sure you watch your drink at the party. 100,000 to my bitch, I bet she could afford me. Living color bosses, welcome to Cali. New money, nigga, go get your money, go be somebody. Just make sure you watch your drink at the party, please. Go ahead, let her choose. Even if she choose, she'll be coming home with me. You can't see the boy, I am not your boy. You can't see the boy. 100,000 to my bitch, I bet she could afford me. Living color bosses, welcome to Cali. New money, nigga, go get your money, go be somebody. Just make sure you watch your drink at the party. 100,000 to my bitch, I bet she could afford me. Living color bosses, welcome to Cali. New money, nigga, go get your money, go be somebody. Just make sure you watch your drink at the party, please. Go ahead, let her choose. Even if she choose, she'll be coming home with me. You can't see the boy, I am not your boy. You can't see the boy.
The PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.